want to make a list of the top 10 companies you want to work for the most, I would recommend going directly to the top, and there's 2 resources I have for you that are free. Number 1 is the Substack Clouded Judgment. It's written by a venture capitalist. I read it weekly, and he basically breaks down the top performing software companies by a variety of metrics. I would use that list to then go search them on their company website, on the company LinkedIn, to see if they are hiring for the specific position you're interested in. Another opportunity is by going to companymarketcap.com, and you can filter by the top 1,000 largest technology companies. So you can just go directly down the list and say, if these are the biggest companies, I'm sure they can pay me the most amount of money. Or you could go to TechCrunch and see what tech companies are getting funded. So if you want to go work for a smaller startup type company, there's going to be less structure, but more upside and less training at a smaller company. But a bigger company like a Microsoft, like a Amazon AWS, they're going to pay you more money and there's going to be a lot more training. So if you're just starting out, I would recommend going the route where you're going to be provided better training. And then once you're ready to start applying, another strategy I would recommend is going on to LinkedIn, clicking the jobs tab, and then searching for the specific title you are interested in. For example, if you type in sales development rep, hundreds of thousands of open job positions come up, and really start to have a filter and say, if it doesn't fit my specific criteria, work preferences, if I've never heard of the company or familiar with the brand, I'm not going to apply to them. Remember, the decision of the companies that you put on your top 10 list is one of the most important of your life. I would argue that selecting your partner, husband, wife is probably the most important decision, but one of the next most important decisions is how are you going to spend your time? If you spend 40 hours a week at your job for 56 weeks a year, that's 2,200 hours per year you will be spending doing this type of work, selling this product, surrounded by those people in that potential location. So be very mindful of what companies and what preferences you have, because it's going to change the entire path of your life. Step 3 is to begin prospecting into these companies, selling yourself as if you were already selling the product for that company. Remember, it takes the same skill set to get hired in a sales job as it does to find success in a sales job. There are 2 paths into any company, the front door and the back door. The front door is going on to the company website directly, applying for the job position you want. You could also go to the company LinkedIn page, apply for the position you want. This is helpful because you can see the available positions that are right there. I would begin by starting by doing this so you're aware of what potential positions are out there. And if you're tempted to start reaching out to people at the company, remember, if someone recommends you for a position, typically in tech, that's not going to give you any sort of advantage. It's basically like applying through the front door, so be mindful of that. I would recommend going through the back door. After you're familiar with what companies you want to work for and they're actually hiring for the positions you're going for, the back door involves getting as creative as possible to get hired. For example, I know someone that cold called a VP of sales at a smaller company to get their attention, to get an introduction to an actual hiring manager that's in a position to influence that person's career. That's just one example, but figure out how can you network your way into these companies. Once you're aware of what companies you want to work for, you're only going after 10, you're not going after thousands. You need to go very deep. So can you go connect with on LinkedIn after you've optimized it? Specific recruiters, specific SDR, BDR managers, VP of sales, CRO, chief revenue officers. Maybe you want to go directly to a CEO, president. Different levels of the organization, each of these people have different levels of influence. So don't just immediately go to them and come off as desperate. Hey, I would really like to get hired because I want to get paid money. Come across as you are confident that you are there to solve a problem for them. The problem all of these people have is they want to look better in their career. They want to help the companies be more successful. So how can you give them that? For example, what you could do for someone like me, you go connect with me on LinkedIn, you go start liking all of my posts, commenting on them for a month, not asking for anything. And then all of a sudden you shoot me a direct message, a voice message and say, hey, I really like your post, your content. I see you've been at this company for 4 years. You've had a lot of success. Can you write me just the 3 reasons why you stay at this company? You take that context and then you go apply through the front door and you say, hey, I spoke with Trent at insert XYZ company and he said he likes the company for these reasons. This is my background experience is why I would be a great fit. Can we set up a meeting to talk about how I would get hired at your company? And that's just one example, but I'm really interested to hear about the creative ways you guys position yourself to get hired at these companies. I hope you enjoyed the video and it brought you some value. If it did, hit the like button right now. Comment down below any questions you have or any topics we covered here today that you would like me to go even deeper on. For example, I'd like to talk more about interview prep and specific questions you'd be asked and how you would respond to them. And then finally, subscribe to the channel now with notifications on if you have not already, because it really helps the channel and I don't want you to miss out on any upcoming sales trainings that will help transform your life and your career.